is the Glass Cannon Network.
We talk about a lot of things before we go on the air when we're getting tech checks done and, making sure everyone's equipment's working. And the conversation is wide-ranging. Today, for example, we talked about the vagaries of the publishing industry, and we talked about some ancillary traveler materials that Skid tried to buy off the internet before I could get to one, which I'm not going to...
No, which I successfully bought.
Skid successfully bought the last copy of the same online retailer that shall go unnamed.
Matthew, don't worry, there's more on the way.
Yes, I know. I also placed an order. But there was one topic that I thought we could circle back to. We were talking about, among other things, as we usually do, Battlestar Galactica, and I pointed out that one of my favorite characters on the show is Doc Cottle, the irascible, chain-smoking, aging, now only doctor left in humanity. But it got me to thinking, who's your favorite fictional doctor other than Doc Cottle, who is the obvious answer?
Fictional doctor.
Does not need to be sci-fi. Doug Ross from ER on the table.
Okay.
All the fictional doctors in any show you've ever watched. Does not need to be a medical show either. Could be any show that just features someone with a medical degree. They could be unlicensed. I don't know. Are there unlicensed doctors?
I mean, you mentioned Quincy earlier as well.
Quincy, another great option.
Jack Klugman, got to be way up there. But I think for me, it starts and ends with Bones McCoy. I mean, I love the irascible.
I chose not to say Bones McCoy because I wasn't going to steal that from you.
See, it's just like buying the last copy of Agent of the Imperium. It's just, you got to get in there quick or else you miss out. So I get to take Bones McCoy, the best doctor of all time.
Say a few words about Dr. McCoy.
I just love, part of it is just like the triptych with like him and Spock, the emotions and the logic in a battle over Kirk's soul, basically.
Yeah.
It's just such a great dynamic. Like, I love that so much, and just the way that they bicker. But I just love like the sort of impatience. It kind of reminds me of Gandalf the Grey a little bit. Was just this guy who just has a ton of knowledge and has been around for a long time and is very frustrated when it takes people a while to catch up. And I love that sort of character trait. And he's also like, DeForest Kelley is a guy whose background was mostly in like Westerns, like as far as like TV. Mm-hmm. So like he's bringing a lot of that sort of, wagon train energy like into the production. And, for the same reason you and I love Doc Cottle, I love an irascible doctor. It's great.
The other thing I love about Dr. McCoy is he's like, I'm a simple country doctor, but he's also wielding the power of the 23rd century.
I always feel like you have to at least acknowledge the Carl Urban one, because Carl Urban's version
that was such a great McCoy. His was a phenomenal McCoy too.
He's one of those cases where you have an actor who's taking a role somebody else did, and he channeled the character
without doing an impression.
Like his Bones McCoy is Bones McCoy, but without being, he's just trying to emulate, the previous actor. It's like, no, he got the character's soul. It was so good.
My favorite part of the new Trek is him.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's really great.
Hands down.
Yeah.
What about the rest of you?
This is tough because it isn't where we're like, well, I can't think of a doctor. It's more like which is your favorite Doctor, and then knowing that as soon as you get off the broadcast, you're going to kick yourself for forgetting when you love. And then also, I don't want to like stick primarily to Star Trek because that's, of course, my brain goes there first for everything. But I mean, right off the bat, of course, I'm going to say Robert Picardo because to me, he was the funniest thing to exist. I have a very dry sense of humor. And I remember when I started watching Voyager, I was like, oh, this dude, yeah, he gets me. I just thought he was funny and fast and his delivery was good.
Oh,
yeah,
so
he
good.
was by far my favorite Doctor of the Star Trek whole series, yeah.
And I loved his guest turn in which one of the movies was it? Was it
First Contact?
First Contact.
Yeah,
with the Borg, and it was just like, I understand that Borg technology can cause irritations in the skin. Like he's just trying to buy time. It's so funny. He's great. Also, he in Hail Caesar.
I was just going to say this.
Yeah,
it's his scene in Hail Caesar is amazing.
So good. It's so good.
I mean, he was literally, he's an actor, and they're like, you're gonna play a hologram, and it could have gone like really like cheesy, but he just did such a good job. He became an iconic Star Trek, doing a completely different version of a Doctor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Totally. So he just stands out for me.
Great choice.
Good choice. Jealous of that choice.
I'm gonna go obscure because when I was like, I can't use Bodes because I'm not taking that from Skid. And so like the next thing I wrote down was Krieger from Archer in case I couldn't come up with a better one.
Wow, that's good.
That's so
the Hitler clone,
And I actually don't remember the character's name. It's David Duchovny in Playing God. Because we have used him in so many cyberpunk games.
Playing God is a movie?
Angelina Jolie, like before anybody knew who she was, is in it, and it is he lost his license due to drug addiction, and he gets involved with this criminal gang because he's like in a bar and somebody takes a bullet, and he creates a pump out of like an old water bottle and a hose from behind the counter, and like this, he's like. You know, he like reinflates their lung, and this local crime boss sees him and is like, "Oh yeah, we can use you."
Peter Stormare is in this movie.
Yeah, I did see this movie. I saw this when it came out because it was
John
such
Hawkes
a huge.
is in this movie.
I haven't seen it in 20 years, and we reference this doctor like grabbing like a plastic bottle and like it's like, okay, give me a pen. He like totally MacGyver's this. So we've referenced this in gaming for years. As far as like, I don't have equipment, really I don't care.
Yeah.
Wow. What a callback.
All right, Sydney, what Doctor would you go to in this fiction in any fictional universe?
Unlike going to sci-fi, I immediately thought of comedy, like you, Seth. Like I thought of the literal Doctor from Arrested Development, who is one of the funniest characters.
Ian Roberts.
Yes.
Your son's going to be all right.
All right.
Thank God. It's like, I got to say, you're taking this really well. What are you saying? It's like, well, he lost his left hand, so from now on, he's going to be all right. I'll kill you.
That, or like, I thought of Scrubs. Like, I loved Scrubs growing up, and I thought every character was hilarious in that. Like, anytime it's a comedy Doctor, I think it's the funniest thing. And I recently, like 2 years ago, saw this movie called Medical Police, which is the same actors and sort of world of the show Children's Hospital. If you guys ever seen that comedy.
Oh, yeah.
It is weird. It is like...
One of my friends, Jesse Falcon, was a writer on that show.
No way. Okay, that show is hilarious. It's a bizarre show. It's like... dark comedy. It's all these doctors who work in like a children's hospital. But basically there's this...
Rob Corddry's in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a ton of like names you would recognize in it, but they made this mini series show called Medical Police, and it is ridiculous slapstick. Like, they basically are doctors, and there is a virus in Brazil, and it's like killing people. It's a pandemic. And it also aligned with like me being in quarantine, and I was like, it's fun to laugh about this, and like finally something that's like not serious. But they become like CIA agents. They become like spies, but they're doctors and they're not good at it. And it's like, I think Henry Winkle, so many people are in it. They like pop up and you're like, what the? And then they like die. They get like shot in the head. And it's just like ridiculous comedy. But I think anytime that there is a comedic, fumbling, bumbling doctor who also knows what they're doing and can save a life, it's great. I love it.
Awesome.
Combination of knowledge and like comedy. Yeah.
Is
it physical comedy? Is it like physical comedy or
physical, but also like the literal doctor? Like the puns are great. Just like a doctor has no bedside manner, you know, like House. I think House is almost a comedy. Like the man is ridiculous. He has no bedside manner. He's terrible with people, but he's an amazing doctor.
I mean, his Hugh Laurie's background is comedy for sure. So
yeah,
I mean, one of the great comic actors, sketch actors. Yeah.
I think if my character were to die, I would come back as a fumbling, bumbling doctor.
Hey, we could do that if you want. We'll
Matthew,
find a way. We'll find a way to work it in.
Are you threatening me?
Is that a career?
You requested it.
Career like choice.
Yeah.
Look,
I'll take
so
fumbling and
season
bubbling.
3, we know where she's.
Yeah.
Season 3 we'll start on a medical ship.
There we go.
We'll all play doctors.
We all attempt to play doctors, but we all get booted out like at our first term.
That would be
Med
great
school
if
dropouts.
we all try to play doctors and we all know each other because we like went to school together, but then obviously everyone had horrible, terrible life events that took us in different directions.
Except for the one of you. I feel like both seasons now, one of you has rolled extraordinarily well.
Yeah.
Me.
Well, it was you this season.
And Skid has also rolled extremely well.
Really?
Yeah, Skid is like a...
Well, you couldn't get promoted.
I never got promoted, but I mean, as far as like my stats and my abilities and stuff, I'm really lucky.
You're very strong.
I just never got promoted. I never got the mustering out benefits.
That's true. Yeah, definitely. If I compare it to previous seasons, I've done better.
I would say Alicia has had the most interesting character.
Well, that's always true. She always
the case.
has the most interesting life path.
Yes.
Her character is always.
I actually credit that as Alicia's creativity of interpreting.
Of course.
The chaos of her dice rolls is turned into these amazing stories.
Yeah, she starts off at a place that most of us wouldn't think of, and then the twists and turns are ones that we would be incapable of negotiating ourselves. So
she leans into the difficulty of poor dice rolls.
all the inherent difficulties of being a carnival policeman.
God, that was the best.
Oh my God.
Oh.
If you haven't, we haven't released it, but Alicia's performance in our Marvel multiverse role-playing game at San Diego Comic-Con also was just...
It was great.
It was so much fun.
Mess.
It was so great. And it's lost. It's lost to time.
Matthew saved me because the Wi-Fi hated me. Wi-Fi always hates me, but the San Diego Comic-Con Wi-Fi especially hated me. So Matthew saved me. Well,
it's okay because my mic just wouldn't turn on. It's just like we at sound check it was fine, and then the show started and it just like wouldn't work. And the sound tech at the back was just like, I don't know. So the first 45 minutes I was just like shouting into the audience, and really, it was a good time.
It was a great show. Trust us.
It was a fun show.
Really good show.
Well, speaking of great shows and trusting us, last week, last episode, you declared a truce of sorts with the crew of one of these newly downed ships, a freighter carrying synthetic polymers over the islands crossing. A ship you discovered was actually a well-loved far trader called the Kate's Gambit, which was, for those of you joining us for the second season only, which is a little weird, but welcome. That was the ship from the first season, so there was a thread connection. So, the Kate's current crew, 20 years earlier, it was a human captain named Allison Fenrazi. The engineer was a haughty ex-Imperial Navy fellow named Bertram Samuels, who maybe butted heads a little bit with Willa Dean.
Butted heads. That guy's a jerk.
Yeah, that guy was just being a dick.
He was like, multiple other party members had to go up to him and be like, why are you being so mean? Why are you being so mean?
Doing this? Yeah.
Why? Well, and there was the injured pilot, Denny Cooper, a man with a fondness for the ancient Terran style known as cowboy boots. And they, after your truce, they joined you and trekked back up the valley because Denny was in need of medical assistance and you wanted to take a survey of what you may be able to scavenge from the wreck of the Warbler in hopes that you might be able to use them as spare parts to repair the comparatively less damaged Kate. And you were beset, however, by a flock of Valroks, a frighteningly large bird of prey / reptile creature. But because you're all incredibly strong combatants, apparently, you were able to pick most of them off. And the only one that came anywhere near to doing any real damage to any of you got its head caved in by Pug's bare hands. So, yeah. It sounded threatening for a minute. But then, however, the victory was short-lived because when you made it back to your settlement, you discovered that Marley and Trey had been bound and tied to the hull of the Warbler, and this tall, slender man in white armor held Plurn in front of him like a Vargur shield with a gun to her head. And that is where we will pick up. So right now, so Marley, Trey, tied up, gagged, kind of tied to the wreck of the ship. And this figure in this armor that would have been pristine had it not been for, a crash landing on a ship, he's looking up at you, and Plurn is just growling, furious. And the man, the opaque visor, the bug eyes on his visor retract, and you see an olive-complected man in his mid to late 20s, maybe late 20s, a short, neat goatee, a mustache beneath an aquiline nose, and pale blue eyes. He says, "Hello there. I wondered when you would all return. Please, drop your weapons." And he looks at Pug and goes, "Even you, my large friend. No doubt you could eviscerate me, but not before I got a shot off on this one, no?"
Yeah. So do we recognize this person as a Jodani?
Yeah, you identified the glimpse of armor you got during the firefight as Jordani. So yes, you would at this point you would recognize this as Jordani armor. It's officer's battle armor.
So we would have reason to believe that this person is a scion and could just enter our heads at any minute and mess with us that way.
If not already.
If not already.
Yeah, and actually, Arthur, you get a tingly sensation, one you haven't experienced in some time, of someone trying to read your thoughts. But of course, as a trained psionic, you're shielded from that. And so the Jordani man reaches up with
Get out of my mind.
and he just takes a gloved forefinger. He's like, he just reaches up and just taps his temple and smiles.
Oh, no.
Okay,
what a lovely surprise this is. Hello there.
Hate this guy. Willadine takes her Gauss rifle and holds it out to the side. And she says, "Hello. I see you found our ship. I see you found our shipmates." And she's like slowly putting her gun down with her other hand up. "My name is Captain Willadine Faye Moxley. And we're not here to fight you. In fact, we were looking for you. Seems we might have got a shot off at you earlier. Why don't you tell us your name?"
"Oh, Captain Moxley, my name is Evir Klojaniper. Give me an education check."
Sorry, I just had to write down that phonetic spelling of that name. Sure, that's correct.
I'll spell for you. KLOZHAN apostrophe.
Start over.
Okay,
Hold on a second.
EVIR. Thrilling audio. His last name is Klojaniper. KLOZHAN apostrophe IEPR.
Yep, nailed it the first time.
Got it.
Evir.
Avir. Sorry, you said intellect?
Education.
Education. Can I use... I got a 0 in education. Can I use anything? Do I have it? Oh, my jack of all trades. Could I add that to...
Well, no, because you're not taking a penalty on this.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you could... It would be, you're trying to understand Jordani naming conventions, is what you
okay.
So if you have anything that could apply to that, sure.
Absolutely not.
11.
11?
Oh. A 9.
I got a 9 as well.
Swan?
I can help. Well, that's true. I have a pretty good education, so I should be able to help.
You're well educated.
I have a +2 in education.
Oh yeah,
There you go.
Give us a roll.
Yeah, right. 8.
All right, Arthur. You were the only one. Perhaps because of your own psionic ability, you know a little bit about the Jordani. Maybe they teach you at the Institute what to look out for, ways to defend against. I don't know. But you read the suffix on his name, the IEPR after the apostrophe, marks him as an intendant in the Jordani caste system. So we touched on this a little bit last week, but the intendants are the kind of middle class of the Jordani culture. They're often they're assigned a noble to kind of work for, and even in the military, and those are highly sought after positions. Intendants and nobles are the only members of the Jordani consulate population that are trained in psionics. And intendants its ambition is a fundamental part of their life. It's possible for an intendant to be elevated to a noble, so they can either do that through a prestigious assignment, or they have this thing called the Psionic Games. You rolled very well, so I'm giving you. They have the Psionic Games, where intendants compete with psionic powers, and the winner just receives a noble title. They just become a member of the nobility. But this guy is just an intendant.
Okay.
A little interesting tidbit about Jordanis as well. I think they have a lower average tech level than like the Empire does too, or a lower ceiling anyway. Like I think that their highest tech level in the Jordani consulate is 14, whereas I think it's 15 or even 16. I think in some places in the Imperium. So there's sort of it's a balance thing between like they have their psionics, but the tech isn't quite as good. So
they can teleport.
With their minds.
I'm gonna tell them that you clearly can read everyone's intention. You know that we you know our situation. You know that where we are, and you know that whatever advantage you have right now is very temporary. So this isn't going to be a long-term advantage you have at the moment.
So what do you propose we do, Arthur?
Oh my God.
I propose you let her go, and if you have any intention of ever surviving or making it off this world, you put away your weapon.
I will acquiesce to your terms, but I suggest we all put away our weapons. Your point is correct. My advantage will soon fade if this one is to go. But I do not intend to be vaporized on the spot. What with a captain of the Imperial Navy here?
Well, we're not in the Imperium, but we're not in the consulate either.
And I don't mean you any harm. If you can tell, Lydia's just pointing to her head back and forth. Our intention is to help this crew. Someone is injured, and we don't want any more injuries or casualties.
If you hurt her, there is no coming back.
Swan's going to step forward and say, if I am not mistaken here, you're the ones who have crash landed on our planet. This is our homestead. These are our people. And these are our weapons. What do you need? Is there something we can help you with? Otherwise, I suggest, like the captain has said, you be on your way.
And when you say our planet, he just kind of sneers. He goes, you say we're not in the Imperium, and yet your Imperium biases flow through your words. Your planet. Since when did this belong to you?
We've been
Everyone's here. We've been here.
been here.
That's our farm. We planted those crops.
Do you have a
Welcome
flag?
to Cascadia. That's what I'm calling it.
Cascadia.
And then Willadine turns to,
We have turnips
that.
and potatoes.
That is actually quite not. We haven't come up with a name yet, and that I'm kind of taking a liking to. That's pretty
I think it's a pretty cool name.
That's pretty good.
It's not
It
bad.
is good.
Even if you're Ken has to admit, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
Arthur, who's trying to look very confident, because this Joe has no idea how crappy of a psyot I am. I was like,
Oh no.
All right, let's set up a task chain.
Idiots.
Crappy scion. A crappy scion.
I'll never not find that funny. I'll
this
never
guy
not
will
find
mop
that
the
funny.
floor with me. It's like,
You just keep
For a
going like,
psychic duel.
I'm
Like
like,
Professor X
You're
versus
like,
Uri
What number
Geller.
am I thinking from 1 to 10?
yeah.
it's like I took karate for 6 months and I go to the kumite, the blood sport thing. Like,
Oh no, he's doing it again.
All right, let's set up a task chain. I think it's going to end with a persuade roll. So whoever wants to do the final roll, it will be persuade. But you can all make a case for whatever skill you want to use to enable this negotiation. It felt like you were doing persuade or diplomat. Sydney, that feels right to me as well.
Yeah. Could I do... I have Jack of all trades, because I don't have technically Persuade or Diplomat. Could I do my leadership?
Sure. I'll let you, it's not technically what that's for, but it seemed you were trying to kind of keep everybody cool. Like we'll talk. Yeah, you can roll leadership.
Okay.
anyone have tactics?
Yeah.
I do have naval tactics. I don't...
You can roll
Leadership,
tactics
I
at
think-
level 0.
Leadership work just as far as like keeping us on the same page.
Yeah,
for what
I
we're
think
doing.
it's-
I think it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm trying to group
Even if it
everybody
doesn't
in...
affect them.
Yeah, all right.
All right,
let's
so
see.
Sid, you can go first, and you'll roll you'll roll leadership, and then who wants to roll the final diplomat? It felt like you were doing the kind of.
I have persuade 1 and diplomat 1. They had leadership, so I can be any of them. Though my soch sucks. So if it's not anything other than soch, great. But if it's soch, it sucks.
I mean, maybe you roll use education. Do you like your knowledge of Jordani, whatever you've
Yeah.
acquired at
Psionics.
the institute?
Yeah, kind of knock them off
I could-
guard with your insider knowledge.
I could do that, but my soch is I might stop in the middle of this and just start rubbing my butthole across the carpet, sort of.
Start
So
scooting.
I just-
I mean, you have been living in the wilderness all this time. You need to find some way to stay clean.
It's just what we do.
That's just, he does this. We think he has pinworm.
No, it's an intimidation tactic. Let him do it.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like in the
Maintain
middle of
eye contact the whole
negotiations.
time.
It freaks everybody out. Let him do
Just
it.
expressing himself and his glands.
He's expressing his glands. I was about to say that.
All right, we'll let you roll either diplomat or persuade at the end. Pug, what do you want to roll?
I would love to use my physical presence to just kind of intimidate this guy and use a strength check.
All right.
What a flex, basically.
I'm gonna flex. I'm gonna get big.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
like
can't
raise
drop
myself
these
up.
guns.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, these guns stay attached and they're loaded. So yeah, I'm gonna like because I think he's normally like pretty like hunched over, like his spine has like a natural bend with his like armadillo kind of traits, but he like lifts himself up to his full like 9-foot height, and he's gonna just try to like.
All right, so hold that thought, and then Alicia, what
Okay.
are you going to roll?
I think I'm going, and might be a little, radical, but I think Swan's gonna roll language because remember I said she's language background and from her travels and stuff with her parents and her father being a professor, and the Zodani spoken language is something called Zedetl or something like that. It's their spoken language, and so I'm gonna basically, I guess, switch to speaking their spoken language.
Okay, so
And
what you
relate to
said.
them like on that level. I mean, I don't know if you're gonna make me roll to see if I say like something wrong or right, which is kind of messed up.
Yes, I am.
Well, no,
Yeah, of course.
It does give like a little bit more like I know so much about you. I actually know the proper way to roll my R's and sort of thing. I'm not
Something
doing the
like
standardized American thing of just yelling English louder, expecting it to work.
Yeah. But I think it's perfect for something like a segment of a task chain
Yep.
It's not
Yeah.
like not the only attempt that you
Yeah.
would do, but it's perfect for something. It's like to help the whole process is using their language like that, I would think.
So let's start. Let's go with Sydney for leadership, then go to, or say we'll go Willadine for leadership, then go to Swan for language, and then we'll let Pug flex, and then bring it home with Arthur's persuade or diplomat.
Okay.
Awesome.
Leadership could be social.
Sure.
Yeah. So I rolled a 9, 10, 11, plus my 2 leadership, plus my 1 social. So 12 total.
Okay. So that is a success. So Alicia, you get a +2 to your roll.
Yes. Plus, and then I have language +1.
You probably don't have this language. Do you have this language, or do you just have other languages, right?
Yes.
You, like,
you mean
studied-
Soleimani and Villani. But I was hoping to just basically, because I have a pretty high education, I was hoping to use just the fact that she's good at language. Or do I have to pick a specific language I'm good at?
So you have anything level 1 or above in that skill, you'd have to pick a specific language, but you could roll it at level 0 and add your education modifier.
Oh, okay, I'll do that. Oh, good, 10.
10. Okay, that is a success. So Skid, you get a +2 to your roll. Or was that? Did you count the +2, Alicia?
Pardon?
Did you count the +2?
Oh, no. Okay, so then make it 12.
Still,
Yeah.
effect-wise, that's still a success.
Okay,
so
yeah.
Skid, you get a +2 to this as well.
Okay. 14.
Wow.
14. Okay. All right, Seth. It all comes down to you. +2.
Okay. So we're going to do, I'm going to say diplomat
Great.
here. And you said I can use education?
Sure.
Okay, so that gives me a +2 plus that +2, so +4. 9 with the +4.
Okay.
Okay. It could have been worse.
Too bad.
That is a marginal failure. So
No.
Marginal failure?
Isa.
Yeah, so like I probably articulated all well. It just kind of ended with dick.
Yeah, you were doing so well, and then you just called him a dick at the end, and it was like, fuck.
I don't think he liked that.
I don't think you're supposed to.
I don't think he found it as funny as we do.
We're all nodding. We're all
Say it to
nodding.
each other all the time, and it's really funny.
It's like an
I
inside
guess.
joke with us, but for him, it's mean.
Right. We've only talked to each other for
I
the
don't know
last
why you're insulting me.
4 years.
He doesn't know us.
Right.
He doesn't know us.
He doesn't know us.
I know you better than you think, and that's
Oh,
why I
right.
know it's such an insult.
He read my thought. He read my thought.
And so you deliver that rousing speech, and Evir just kind of looks at you and says, "What you are not considering is that this wreck is of no use to getting any of us off this rock. The only hope you have is of my ship. And my ship is tied to my heartbeat."
What?
Wait, do we know that? Is that a thing we would know?
Yeah, is that...
That only he can activate the ship while alive? Like, is that something we would understand when he says that?
I think if you would gather, it's essentially like the ship's core is on a dead man switch. So if you kill him, and he kind of holds up his wrist, and he has a personal computer built into his armor. He goes, my ship split apart upon entry. However, the engine section is where the power is still producing a signal, and he has a readout that's like he has some signal from the power in his ship. I do not know what you need, but this certainly will not produce it. Your only hope is through me.
It's like
How do
the
we know
most
that you would be willing
Sozani
to-
thing ever. We've got a dead man switch on our ship. Yeah, that
It's
checks
very,
out.
very Shodani.
It sounds like something a dick would do.
What were you saying?
I do not know why you keep insulting me.
No, you don't understand. Wait, when we've been here for 8 years, and when we say dick, it's sort of like a term of endearment.
So how would you use it?
Like, I would, Pug, if Pug made a delicious dinner, I might be like, you dick, and I would give him a good sock, you know?
Yeah.
So this one.
I have so many socks now.
That
You're still
is
not
also
letting her
confusing.
go.
I would give him a punch. A good sock is like a punch, not a physical item of clothing.
Oh my God,
Right.
this is going terribly.
This is
Do
what
you-
you Imperials do with each other.
Do you
So, by the way,
understand?
he still has Plurn at gunpoint.
Yeah. No. We're getting off topic. Swan, sorry, you were saying something. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, I wasn't. I honestly am just sort of observing, and Swan is just observing him to see if this guy actually means to help us in the end by bringing up his ship and the fact that we could possibly get off this place with him. That's the first thing that made her go. Or if he's just sort of stringing us along and he plans on killing us anyway.
Yeah, I think Willadine will, after Arthur makes his persuading point, I think Willadine says, I understand your relationship as a people to the Imperium, but we are far outside the realm of the Imperium. We are on a planet. We don't know where we are. We landed here accidentally with a jump failure. We have been here, we have survived, and we would like to get off this planet, as I'm sure you would too. Now, I have a feeling you wouldn't come here and hold someone at gunpoint unless you needed something from us. So you say you have a way off. You say we are in need of you. You are our salvation. That may very well be true. You see our ship? That's not going to get us off of here. So what do you need? Let's be brutally honest with one another, shall we?
Let's be brutally honest. If I were to execute your friend and murder all of you right now, the consulate would give me a medal, perhaps a title.
What?
We do not need each other. You need me. So please, your weapons to the ground, and then we will talk about how to get off this planet.
Guy hasn't figured out that he's out in the middle of nowhere yet.
Why does he need us? If the thing...
We don't
You
know.
can
He
read
doesn't.
everyone's mind, and it hasn't occurred to you that the consulate has no idea where you are or how to reach you. Really.
What are you going to mail
Really?
in an envelope to receive your medal? Good fucking luck.
This is the entirety of your population. The people that are in this valley right now.
You don't know that.
We don't know
No,
that.
you're
You've
gonna-
never been in the forest.
You're gonna try to live here just alone?
No, I would take your ship.
Oh. Are you gonna do all the repairs by yourself? That's an interesting idea.
I've already put my weapon
You
down.
get a one man lift all the jump coils. That's an interesting idea. Just all by yourself.
Yeah, I put my gun down too. I don't even need it. I'm like ready
true.
to go. Ready to throw it out.
Can't take his arms off.
Yeah.
The point you make, Seth, about him, is he going to do all the repairs? Is he kind of doesn't react to that. And he is like, how about we all lower our weapons?
I've already put mine on the floor. I see yours is still raised.
And he lowers it and he steps back from Plurn. There you go. Run to your not boyfriend. He says to
Come here,
Plurn.
girl.
Oh,
Come on, girl. I whistle.
Okay.
I won't even give dog jokes to her. She's scary.
So insulting.
I know. It's so hard to not do it.
one of the other things we talked about beforehand is with Barger. Seth was saying that you always are like, all right, no dog jokes. We're just going to play it seriously, like, and inevitably.
I
always
last
make dog
30
jokes.
seconds after giving that. Don't do dog jokes. We're going to do this serious.
All right, so Plurn, who's pissed off, goes Rose comes over to your side, and Veer deactivates his weapon and puts it on the ground. Now we can talk like civilized people. Yes.
I rush him. No.
You rush him and crush his head.
Yeah.
In the far distance, you hear an explosion.
Like, oh no, I forgot.
It's heartbeat, not conscious.
Right.
You could kill him and then like manually palpate his heart.
Yeah,
Is that what
just
you're
keep
saying?
doing compressions until we get out of here.
Willadine also says, I would like to untie our other two crew members.
And he nods his assent.
And Willadine goes around and starts untying Marley
Cap-
and Trey.
Captain Fenrazi steps forward and is like, hang on. I have not. What is this talk about using my ship to get off this planet? And then Bert leans over and he's like side talking to her. He's like whispering. She goes, how do we know any of the equipment on your ship is still in any way salvageable?
I think their lightning adapters run USB-C. It's just doesn't work.
Right.
You have the correct dongles.
I threw away my junk drawer of cords.
This is something else we talked about. God, the pre-show banter is
It always comes around.
in some ways far superior to the actual show.
Coming together.
This is your ship needs a power plant. Yes.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
so. Swan just sort of looks around at the others.
Do we need a power plant?
I think
so.
you know that. Who knows that? Trey?
Yeah, and who's the engineer?
Bert is the engineer of the Kate.
on their ship. They're talking about the Kate's Gambit.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to fly the Warbler off this planet.
Yeah, I
No,
thought he was talking
we've-
about our ship, and I was like,
too.
it's fucking in the ground. Like,
I have a really good windmill. We could power the ship through my little turbine that I made out of broken hull plates.
Arthur, I know
There's
you're
wind in
proud.
space, right?
You're really proud of your windmill, but I'm telling you, it's not gonna help. You're really pushing
Put
the windmill.
inside the ship and we blow on it.
I
and
don't. I just don't think we've
Really
been here a
good
while,
windmill.
huh? Been here a while.
And Veer goes, what? I do not know if your ship will accept parts from the Jordani ship, but clearly my ship still has power, and you need power.
Yes.
I can,
And I know that historically, our people, your people really don't like anyone else whatsoever. But whatever we could possibly do to make it where you would feel perhaps comfortable working with us to help us all get off this planet safely, we would be open to that.
I can guide us. I can guide us to my ship. I can navigate us. I do not know the terrain. I clearly cannot transport the equipment on my own. So I shall require assistance.
And then, once we get to your ship after helping you, how many can your ship hold? Do you have other crew members?
My ship is in pieces. It will not be flown off this planet. However, my lady, I have not been able to contact her, but I still detect a heartbeat from her.
Your lady?
My lady. The captain of my ship.
Like your
I was calling
girlfriend
her
or
my lady.
Is it
and I was
your-
like, oh,
No.
like your old lady?
Of course not. No. She's
it's kind of a demeaning thing to call your wife.
I thought
I
you
hear
called me my lady, and I was like, I'm no lady.
I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
You disrespect a member of the aristocracy of the Jordani consulate in such a flagrant manner.
Ooh,
Again?
you love her. Sounds like you love her.
Again, Pug. We have been here for 8 years. This is an inside joke.
Yeah, we do
This
this
is a
all the
different
time.
inside joke.
We've been planning this. If anyone ever showed up, we would make these sort of jokes.
Yeah. Also, Swan is a very talented author, so we've been doing a lot of storytelling.
A lot of story time.
Do you know? Are you familiar, Swan
Are you
Taylor?
familiar at all?
I
My
can't
what?
say I am.
Surprising, honestly.
Danny pops up. He's like, her book is real great.
Extremely well known.
It's really good.
It gives you a great philosophy, a way to get through the world without letting adversity set you back so much.
So if we were to use your power plant, what assurance do we have that you wouldn't just murder us or abandon us here?
I am, as I said before, if I were
I mean,
to
you've already
kill you,
fired at us. You've taken us hostage.
well, I'm sorry. Someone in an Imperial Navy captain's uniform was traipsing through the forest. What was I supposed to think?
So you couldn't read our minds and tell us, say, what the situation we were in?
I have since, perhaps.
Are we at
Just
war?
shoot before looking? That's comforting.
Are we at war, by the way? I don't... We've been away for a while. Are we actually at war?
We're not up on the news.
Yeah, we haven't got a lot of news here lately.
We are not at war. Relations are never perhaps have never unthawed since the last war, though.
No, for sure, but okay. Just making sure that we shouldn't.
Did we establish how they got here, by the way? Did
Yeah,
they
I was
crash
about
too?
to
Or was he
ask.
Or did
You
are
wanna
they
ask?
visiting?
Swan,
Yeah,
you
that
can
is
ask.
a good question. Yeah,
You ask. I was literally about to ask that. You ask it. Synergy.
Yeah, so Swan asks, like, just randomly out of nowhere because she's ADHD. It's like, I'm sorry. Could you, like, what exactly are you doing here? Not that we have a problem with it, especially since you have a working ship, but were you planet hopping? Do you know where we are right now? Or did you crash as well?
We misjumped. It did not make any sense. The calculations were correct. I did them myself. I have checked them. I checked them upon landing. It does not stand to reason why we are here, but we are on a routine scouting mission, and something happened. How did you arrive here? Oh wait.
You know, it's funny. This is starting to become a concerning pattern. We also misjumped. We were on a ship that was transporting us from a station, and
yes. You are the Poltec Imperial Navy Liaison Officer, I suppose?
How did you know?
That is correct. This crew as well for Captain Cooper. Captain Cooper?
Fenrazi.
I keep mixing him up. Captain Fenrazi. They also appear to have a misjump.
And our calculations were correct as well, she chimes in.
As were ours.
Does anybody have astrogation?
Yeah. I actually don't know.
Well, certainly a
have it
confident
chipped.
answer.
I do.
You do have it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I was thinking if we could take, and if someone has I don't know, does anyone have computers as well?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait,
Because
computers under science or
Electronics.
electronics?
Yeah.
I have one in.
Oh, okay, great. I was just thinking, like, if we could take the data from each of our 3 ships and compare, we might get an idea of why we all ended up here.
Yeah. Is our data core like available on our ship, or was that destroyed?
Your ship has no power. Like you.
Oh,
like,
right. But
So-
If it were powered, would we be able to retrieve any?
You might be able to.
data
Yeah,
from
you
it?
might be able to just get basically plug in a hard drive into
Get the tablets.
Get the hard drives.
Get the hard drives.
Yes, you definitely could. You could definitely do that. Probably not your most pressing concern right now because you got to get right now. The Kate's Gambit is in decent shape. It's got some damage. It will need some hull repair and all that. It crash landed on a ship, however gently. Landed on a planet, however gently. But your first order of business is going to be to get this power plant and somehow hook it up to the Kate's Gambit and power that ship.
Well, also we need to get Denny Cooper to Marley because Denny's leg is messed up, and he has a makeshift splint. That was the whole point. We needed Marley to look at his leg.
I forgot Marley is also tied up, and you untied him.
I untied him.
Oh, you untied him. Okay.
Our janitor, who is also a horse wrangler, expert doctor, just but we can never remember his name.
Marley, are you
Marley,
okay? Are you okay?
He's petting his Cayenne.
Oh,
Sorry, I'll never leave you again.
no, you. Oh, you're talking to the Cayenne.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
I let my Cayenne go back with the rest to water. I forgot what did I name my Cayenne? God damn it!
I don't know.
I named it something good. I'm sure.
Pepper.
Was it Pepper?
That's
Denise?
Right,
I just said
Cayenne
my note.
pepper.
My note says I
Cayenne
named a
Pepper.
Cayenne. Her name is nothing. I'm gonna write in Pepper. I think that's a great name, actually, Seth.
Oh,
Thank
I thought
you.
it was Trigger. It was Trigger, right?
Oh, it was Trigger. Fuck.
Yeah.
Pepper was such a better name.
Yeah, Pepper's good.
Cayenne Pepper. Why did I think of that? Anyway,
that's cute.
so cute. All right, so I tell Marley that Denny Cooper's leg is messed up to have a look at it, and then we need to gather ourselves up.
Oh, okay. Oh, hi there. And he sets about. He looks at it. He's like, mind if I don't want to cut your pants if they're your favorite pants or something. He's like, just cut them, man. It's fine. I got another pair. And
Matthew, can you actually play out this whole scene where you play both characters?
And I'll go through all like that. Oh, looks like we got some contusions here. Contusions. Okay. So Marley is going to set about doing some medical care on Denny. Captain Fenrazi is like, I want one of my people to go with you. I'll stay here with Denny. Hey, Bert, you're going with the party. Like, why? And she's like, because I said so. And he's kind of upset, but he's not going to complain too much about it. And he's like, he walks over to you and he goes, all right, now tell me, how are you going to get me killed this time?
Who are you talking to?
You.
Well, you're not
Captain.
You're not looking at me. I would appreciate if you made eye contact if you were speaking with me.
I actually am. It's just the weirdness of the Zoom call.
I was actually just covering up for the fact that I wasn't sure if you were talking to me or not. I'm glad we can understand the situation.
The situation.
Birch. Can I call you Birch?
No.
Can I call you Birch?
Big B. Can I call you that?
Also not good.
Do you go by nicknames? You're not a fun guy, I can tell.
My friends call me Bert.
Bert.
You may call me Bertram.
Bert it is.
We can't call you Birch.
Birch just feels so close. Bertram, can I pull you aside for a sec?
He looks around. Of course, we have an enemy combatant amongst us who just threatened to kill us all. But you're sure? Yes, let's have a chat.
She pulls him over. I need you to drop the bullshit between the two of us. We now have a completely different situation than just... You're a smart guy.
Thank you.
You understand naval tactics. You were in the Marine. I understand that you are no longer, and honestly, neither am I. I don't owe them anything at this point. But I need you to work with me. And I want your insight on the situation and how to go about it. You have a crew, I have a crew. We both want to protect our people. Is that a deal? Can we agree on that and move forward?
And he kind of nods. He says, it is in my interest to work with you. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. I'll do whatever I can to get us off this planet. But 1 minute, Captain. You say you owe nothing to the Navy anymore, but how do you think the Imperial Navy would feel to find out that you've been consorting with a member of the Jordani consulate military?
I have nothing against the Jordani people.
They'd hang you. Not to put it plainly.
Well, way I see it is,
How do you expect us to explain when we arrive back at civilization?
all right, do me a favor.
We have Jordani parts in my ship.
Bertram, do me a favor. Turn around. You see that big mountain?
Yes.
I climbed that. Do you know how I climbed that?
No need to brag.
I did it alone too. It was pretty sick. Kind of had a spiritual awakening at the top. Lived alone for 6 years. Anyway, she has a far off look in her eye. Anyway, the way I climbed it was I started at the bottom and I took it step by step. So sure, if we get off this unknown planet, I will have to deal with the repercussions of my actions. But right now, my actions will save my crew. And that is my first order of business. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'm gonna call you Bert. It's kind of a fun name, and I think we're there now. And she puts her hand out.
He very, very reluctantly shakes it.
She grips it. She grips it really hard.
He's like, okay. So, all right. So it's gonna be the four of you, Bert and Avir, are gonna venture out. So you have
real fast, Matthew. I have a couple questions.
He wants to kiss his girlfriend.
Oh.
I'm a girlfriend. Stop.
Is it my girlfriend? Shut up.
So, among the stuff that Arthur has, was some reason given when he left the Scion Institute, is I have this auto injector that has 2 doses of psi drug that boosts your psi, but then 1 dose of inhibitor, which I guess like like in case, well, 1, if I can drop my psi to 0 temporarily, I avoid psi detectors, but Arthur's also always suspected that they probably had a remote for it in case, like, I went rogue. They're like, boom, your scions are gone. Like it was any good. I want to know if there is any way I can get that dose out of my auto injector and into a syringe. And I can't ask anyone for help because I don't want them to know what I'm doing, because then the scions will know what I'm doing. Yeah. I also would like to have my secret silenced body pistol that for some reason they gave me without training me how to use. And
it was a graduation present.
Yeah, everybody got one.
Have you all used your remember we have the alternate.
Our connections.
Your connections where we have the Skorkowsky variant where you can use that to gain a skill through a shared connection in your past.
Yeah,
we spent 12 years together.
We haven't really done that at all.
I don't think anyone has actually used theirs.
Oh my god!
I used one to give myself a baseline in melee because I had no combat.
Oh, that's right. No, you did do that.
I was like, Pug taught me how to box.
Well, why don't you? So, I could also have just like taught you.
It's only you can only use it once per relationship.
Oh, once per. Okay, right.
Wow.
So like I've got medic
could have taught you how to shot.
Yeah, anybody
taught you how to shot. I speak the English language. Could have taught you
like
how to shoot.
I've got medic, so I don't know if that would help me. I don't know, like try to like get a syringe into the fill port and draw that out. I just want to have a syringe of this stuff so I could jab them.
Okay, I mean, sure, let's try it. Because you could always roll an exceptional failure, and then what would happen?
Right.
I'll lose Sonics for a day, and he'll finally pick up my thoughts, which is, God damn it.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad. Okay, so let's say you want to. It is an injectable liquid. You just want to
because it's an auto injector, so it's like it has to be refillable somehow. So I kind of picture it almost like how a cartridge. Those printers are, where I've just got like I eject it into the port and it just sits in a reservoir. So it's like, I've got this reservoir of this stuff, but I want to get it out of this thing into a way I could stick it to the back of this guy's neck.
Medic seems like the most logical skill.
Okay.
I think this would be a very difficult check, though.
So why can't 12? You just use the auto injector to administer it to him?
Because it's in me. It's an augment.
You have to take it.
It's planted in my body.
I thought it was like an air hypo or something. Okay.
Sort of, but but it's next to my liver.
All right, that clears that up. Please continue.
Yeah, so let's say it's a very difficult medic check.
Okay.
You could ask Marley for help.
I could, but then Marley would know what we did, which
unless
means
you tell him it's something else. He doesn't have to know what the liquid is, what the drug is.
Marley,
that's true.
Let's just pull up Marley's character sheet that I built for him, because Marley, I believe, is medic 3. Marley is medic 3.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's good.
So he's quite good. So you could risk it. You could try to lie about what it is.
You could say it's like antibiotics for the injured leg or something.
Okay.
Or just not risk it.
That's my problem, is I don't want to risk it because I don't want to go through all this and then be all like, now give me the syringe that he just drew from your body, even though I don't know what it does. Like,
all right. So you're looking for a 12 or better?
Oh, God. Well, I might have to use luck for this.
That's tough.
You do have luck available.
Oh, that's true.
Okay. 8 plus 3, so 11. I would like to use 1 point of luck.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good,
All right.
good.
Why didn't I do this years ago? It's like
I should have done that.
So, Plurn is going to stay behind, and Plurn, by the way, isn't speaking to you, Arthur. She is quite angry at the situation, and is giving you the cold tail, cold shoulder,
Cold haunches.
cold haunches.
I brought her a vulture monster I killed with my spear.
She looks down at it and just walks away.
Oh, she's
and
pissed.
It's still raw.
So she'll tell you, Willadine, that she's going to stay behind and do an inventory of anything that can be salvaged from the Warbler.
Great.
And she'll do that in consultation with Captain Finrazi to see if there's and Denny to see if any of the physical damage their ship took could be repaired with any parts from avionics, electronics, whatever they need. Trey is going to. We have a harvest to bring in. When you're all going off on a crazy adventure, we still have to feed ourselves before the storm season hits. And so she's going to kind of pretend none of this is happening and just continue to bring in the harvest by herself.
We wouldn't have made it this long without her. Let's just admit it.
100%.
Yeah. Trey is the straw that stirs the drink.
Don't I hate Trey for some reason? We had a little.
No, you were besties, but then you had a falling out.
Yeah, you had a falling out.
We had a falling out.
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Falling out?
As life events, they
they
became
had-
really close, and then they had a fight.
That's right.
They became
We were
besties,
BFFs,
and
and
then
then the roll happened, and the roll is the roll, and that was it.
The roll is
I
the
can't
roll.
stand her.
She's so
maybe
stuck up.
all that organizational mind she got going on got to be too much for you.
Yeah.
Pretty intense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Veer doesn't have like an exact fix, like he doesn't have a map of the planet. However, he can basically like guide you by the strength of the signal towards the ship. So the journey is going to take you southwest. So when you went to the Kate was kind of southeast of the waterfall and your settlement. The rear section of the Jodani ship is to the southwest. You'd have to go down the waterfall and head out to the west. Still going through the forest. Everybody give me a luck roll. Let's just see what you know about luck. Just see like what in the past 8 years if you've ventured out this direction.
Okay.
It's not as good as it used to be.
9.
Oh.
7.
Oh no. 8.
Okay. So
4.
None of you have gone this way. You have in your explorations, notice that this was a particularly treacherous area. The river, there's some sort of body of water, probably a river, that you'd have to cross, and also you just have surmised that this would be a particularly treacherous area because of the wildlife.
Oh, right. Okay, well, Pug he's getting all of his stuff. Like, he's getting kitted out for this. He's got his vac suit, he picks up his shotgun, and he gets his machine gun.
All right. So it will be very dangerous, so that's probably a good idea. The other thing, however, you're going to have to contend with is the weather. So the storm season has begun. It rained when you rained last night at the Kate. Your experience of the past 8 storm seasons is that once you're in, the sky could open up at any moment, and then you're at the mercy of the elements. And these aren't just storms; they're thunderstorms and electrical storms. They're quite dangerous, especially if you're out in the open. What's your plan? Do you want to set out right now? Do you want to rest and set out first light?
What time of day is it?
Yeah.
Must be late, right?
At this point, I'd say it's like mid-afternoon.
Okay.
we want to set up.
We should wait
tomorrow.
till first light then.
Yeah, we should wait till first light.
Yeah.
Avir is...
So have to remember, Arthur this whole time's at the bathroom going like, just a minute. Just a minute.
Sitting in the stall trying to get the stuff out of him.
Oh my god.
Are you still using the bathrooms on the Warbler? Are you using the head on the Warbler?
Is he sick or something? What's wrong?
It really is just a hole that just leads to the ground. But, it's...
Yeah, but it's a comforting ritual.
It's a comforting chair.
I like that you've, like, for the comfort of the ritual, you've drilled into the warbler so you can just make like an extended porta potty.
Yeah.
It just goes into our like soil enrichment.
Into the compost. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know.
Gross.
But
Oh, cool.
Gross.
All right, so you're all gonna. Evir is very uncomfortable with waiting. By the way, he tries to convince you all to leave immediately.
Really?
Avir, you don't know this land. It's not safe to travel at night.
My lady, her life could be in danger. I must get to her as soon as possible. It is my responsibility, my duty, and I must go.
and if you go now, you'll probably get eaten by one of the worms. He yells from the bathroom.
What are you doing?
Don't know what he's doing in there.
I think it's the pinworm. It's going around. They're all getting it.
Does your Varga friend have a drug problem?
Oh.
No.
Oh, no.
You know what? No. And thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Do we have any drugs? Do we have?
Why are you holding? That could be nice if we had some. But
All right. So we'll hand wave. You bed down for the night, and the next morning you're all going to set out. As you go, Arthur Plern is kind of. You can see her working on she's got the upper half of her body is kind of dug into the ship. She's kind of pulled back a panel and is just like digging around in the electronics to like kind of see what's what. And she looks up as you pass and just kind of gives you a blank stare.
I actually would like to ask her if she has any experience with Sodani power plants.
No. Nothing.
No.
Can't be that strange, can it?
So if you were ever going to, just casually asking, put a fail-safe, on a power plant and jump drive, how would you, where would you put that?
The dead man switch she seems to be carrying?
No, if I wanted to make my own. For no reason.
Wait, sorry, I didn't hear. What'd you say?
If I wanted to make one of those.
I suppose it would just be a simple matter of reading a heartbeat and then finding some sort of signal that could send it back to the ship and overclock the power plant or the jump drive to run it to explode. And
So between sensors and... okay. Just curious. Don't think about it.
It would have to be a signal, so yeah, you could disable the sensor, probably any part of the... If you could disable the electronics, you surely would disable... However, disabling the electronics might be enough to trigger the dead man switch.
Good point. Okay. That's it.
I'm only speaking to you because this is important for our rescue. Make no mistake, I'm not speaking to you.
Understood. Did you like the vulture thing?
Shut up. Shut up. It's clear you look behind her. It's clearly been eagerly devoured.
Yeah.
The stress of the situation. She just went to town. The vulture.
Stress eating's a thing. I get it. I hate him for bringing me this delicious thing.
Okay, so you all head out through the southern pass. The four of you, Avir and Bert from the Kate, and you go down the path that Willadine had discovered, switchbacking your way down the mountains. And Avir is following you. He says, "You've all made this place your home, and yet you know so little about it. You've not ventured very far at all. How can this be?"
Well, to be honest with you, I actually was put in charge of food pretty early and foraging because of my knowledge of topography and traveling in my youth. And that's actually why I ended up having a falling out with one of my fellow crewmates. But that's another story for another time.
Oh, I know it already.
Sorry.
If you don't mind me saying, both of you have behaved very poorly.
I do apologize. I didn't know that plant would be poisonous. I didn't know that she would eat it. One thing that was problematic is I did happen upon a species of alien plant life in the forest here that chased me out of the forest, and I did pull a muscle, and that's why I have a scar on my face, because I fell upon a rock. That's my story.
And your WAP friend doesn't know any of this?
No, she does. She was poisoned
By
from
you?
a plant that I found, yes, in the forest. And I thought the plant was a plant, but unfortunately it was a sentient species that also chased me out of the forest.
Dr.
I'm being
Tenor.
serious.
Dr. Tenor,
Happens all the time.
It was a head tower.
seems
What?
like this is a bit of a pattern with you.
It is? I don't
Yes.
see, I don't know what you're talking about, a pattern. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Did you not abduct a chirper while you were on your station?
How do you know this?
It
You're
happens.
reading my mind.
I'm not reading it currently.
I'm going to
I'm
find
pretty-
a wet blanket to put over my brain so you can't read anything I'm thinking about you at the moment.
It's definitely how
I'm
it works.
pretty sure this is like almost like like school flashbacks of like, oh god, he reads our bios. Like, I know all this about you. Like for Arthur, it's like, oh god, not this again. This is like high school
Oh yeah.
all over again.
Yeah. Yeah, the bullying in a psychic academy must be so brutal.
Brutal. I can't even imagine.
You would know like what everyone's like deepest insecurities were, and like you
Yeah.
could just exploit it.
But they could
Oh,
exploit
boy.
you back, so maybe it's a mutually assured destruction kind of thing.
Yeah. Maybe it's like you both have your hands on the.
But you're both
switch.
teenagers, so you don't really have control. You don't have full control
Right.
of your emotions, so you might,
Wow, that's it, Matt. You should write a play about that.
Yeah.
That's you should write a play about
Let me write that one down.
Yeah.
Bert comes up to you, Swan, as you're walking along. Avir walks ahead, and he's like, "Don't listen to a word he says. Nothing that comes out of a Jordani's mouth can possibly be trusted."
Really? I mean, look, I know a little bit about Zidani. I know that they just have this distaste for pretty much everyone. So right now, everything about me says don't trust him, but he's our only hope to get off this dastardly planet. Even though I don't mind my crewmates, I think it's time for us to get off of here and get home, which is what we wanted to do from the beginning. However, why particularly are you pointing this out to me? Is there something you want to tell me that you're not?
I just saw him being very, very rude to you, so I just thought I'd give you a bit of encouragement. Don't worry about it. This is their way.
I'm keeping my eye on him. Trust me.
So am I.
Who is my lady? Is this an actual being, or is it the name of the ship?
No, it's the noble that he's working for. He's an attendant for a noble. She's the captain of their vessel, and he is the pilot.
Is she
Which- You
know what?
conscious? Or do
Also
we know
says if she's alive, his heartbeat thing, like you don't give that to like your subordinate.
I don't. There's something.
His dead man switch.
Maybe they both have them.
Well, that's weird to put that on everyone in the crew.
Someone has a heart attack, the whole ship explodes. All right, and so you get to you basically get a day's journey out. You're in at the outskirts of the forest now. You know that this whole trip is probably going to take you a few days to get as far as he's going. You don't know what the terrain is going to be, but based on the general distance, you know it's going to be it's going to be a long way. And so you make camp for the night, and we'll find out what happens after these messages.
brings out his holy sword, places his heel upon the neck of the serpent. For now, the hour is struck, the trumpet has been sounded, the dead shall walk again. The serpent comes, but upon all of them he shall place the mark of the beast.
And we're back. So the next morning you wake up and sun rises, you set out, and you spend most of the day hiking through the forest, heading southeast. Avir kind of following the signal on his personal computer, just kind of guiding you in the general direction, the rest of you guiding him through the terrain. And about midday, you reach a wide river. It's not a particularly high rapid area. Intense rapid, not particularly intense rapids, but you will need to cross the river somehow. So how are you going to do that?
I do have these tarps, and I would think that Swan would bring one with her. They're like called match tarps, and I bought 10 of them with my money before we left. So I mean, maybe she brought a couple with. I mean, they're pretty big, and they're camouflage, like they camouflage your environment. But the problem is, you can only once you use once, I think it's garbage or something like that.
Oh, like you can only use the camouflage ability once.
Or something, then it's garbage or something like that. Yeah, so I think she would have brought one with her because she bought a bunch way back when.
It's useful for camping.
Tarp,
is this river wide enough to throw something across?
I mean, it's like a good, 50 like meters
Mississippi
wide.
Okay, yeah.
Because I have my climbing kit. I could swing.
Because if we could just hurl like a rope to the other side to get it grappled onto something, the first person could try to.
Was there like a tree or anything? Like if we were to like hook it somewhere and get like a running start or something, like
the Roadrunner and run in the water. I don't think it's gonna work, Captain.
So this is like 50 meters, about 160 feet.
Fuck, it's pretty wide.
So is swimming a separate skill, or does that fall under athletics?
I think it falls under athletics.
Well, I could just swim. I could swim. Do we have enough rope? I could swim across and just anchor it.
I'd say the major challenge for you, Pug, is your equipment is probably gonna be quite heavy. But if you leave it, you could leave it behind, swim across, and then find a way to drag it across in some sort of raft. Or you make a raft.
Yeah, can we make a raft somehow? I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what's in that water.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Want to test
Bag it up in a tarp.
Yeah,
something we could do with.
How big are the trees around here? Could we do the old drop a tree and walk across the trunk gag?
That's a good
idea.
idea.
Not 50 meters tall. You could cut some down, but it won't get you all the way across.
Well, I mean, probably not as good to be standing in the middle of the river.
You could do the old log running.
We could.
How deep is it? Let's test the
My
depth.
dice say otherwise.
I'm gonna take a rock, heavy rock, tie a rope around it, and I'm gonna kind of drop it and see how deep this river goes.
3 fathoms deep. No, if you get it out as far as you can throw. Yeah, that would be 18 feet. No, you think it's probably about you can't get it all the way out into the middle. I don't think you're not gonna be able to hurl it 80 feet.
Yeah.
But a good 20 feet out, it's probably about 10 feet deep.
Okay, that's not that bad.
You see the Mark Twain.
The Mark Twain.
I pulled the rock back. I pulled my rope back.
I'm going to volunteer to swim across and carry a rope with me. I'll strip down to my armadillo nudity and swim across.
Ah!
Can we put a rope around your waist just in case?
Sure. And give me one of those tarps if you would.
Okay.
For modesty's sake.
Just wear it like a cape.
For modesty's sake, and then you tie it around your neck like a cape.
And we're like survivalists here, right? We should know what we're doing.
Yeah, we've probably seen each other naked like hundreds of times at this point.
Yeah.
Well, there was that 1 month a couple years back where none of us wore clothes for some reason, and then we never spoke about that. That was just
yeah, we pretended it didn't happen.
We never speak about it again. So I'm seeing in the skills for athletics, long distance swimming is endurance. But I think you can probably make a case for strength if you want to do athletic strength. I don't know what athletics you have, Skid.
I do have strength, so yeah, I was going to make a case for just like powering across this relatively short distance and battling the current in the meanwhile.
All right, so I will use athletic strength, but then I want you to use your dex skill, your dex characteristic to kind of like balance it out and stay afloat.
Okay, all right. We'll try. Oh, that's a 7.
Okay, so you get across, but it's not particularly fast. Like you're like working against the current, and you're trying to stay afloat while also powering through, and it takes you a good while to get across.
Okay.
But you do get to the other side.
Okay.
So what's your plan?
So you're all just seeing this mound just sort of like floating across the river.
Little tiny armadillo feet kicking behind, kicking fruitlessly against the current.
It's like, and I shake the water off, and I give a thumbs up, go and tie the rope to one of the larger trees that looks like it's solidly in the ground there.
Nice.
So is your plan for you all to kind of swim across using the rope, pull yourselves across using the rope?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, what if we tie the rope off on this side too, so we just kind of like pull ourselves across.
It'll also help us attach our gear to it, so we
could like
get our
slide.
gear across.
Oh, okay, cool.
Pull.
Take my gun. Okay. Super cool moment. I take my gun. I put it over the top of the rope, and I just kick my feet, and my gun slides along the rope, and I don't even have to get anything wet.
Well, you could also tie the rope on this side up pretty high and make yourself a zip line.
True.
Well, I think that's kind of what I was going for. It was like keep us out of the water a little bit.
Gary, I feel like you're just here to use the zip line.
He yanks on it. He's too rough with it. He yanks on it.
Can we get it up high?
Yeah, can we make a zip line?
Yeah, well, why don't you use your give me a climbing roll, Willadine, and see if you can tie it up high enough on a tree to make yourselves an ersatz zip line.
What's it? The whole time Pug is swimming, I'm building a tower. It's gonna be cool. Don't wait.
Building a blind.
11.
All right, you were able to tie it up high enough that it's not quite a zip line, but if you could like climb the rope and never get wet if you wanted to.
She says to Bertram, "Watch this." And she like slides, like 2 feet, and then her feet hit the ground. She like runs a little bit and then hits the water awkwardly, and then kind of just starts like wading through the water. She goes, "Pretty cool. It's kind of fun."
All right, I'm gonna need an athletics check from each of you to cross.
Really?
Oh, really?
Are you sure?
Yep.
Dex strength.
No one can help anyone?
It'll be dex. I mean, actually, no. It would be strength, wouldn't it? Because you'd have to use upper body strength to kind of.
Yeah.
And then somebody is gonna have to slide Pug's gear across the river too.
I can do that because I rolled
You could just
really
loop.
well.
They're all straps. So they could just loop the strap through the rope and just like slide it down.
And zip line all your equipment to you.
Yeah.
Zip line a machine gun.
Yeah, that's right. That's it.
Amazing. Well done, Skid.
We all land in the water anyway.
Yeah.
I got a 9.
9, great.
13.
13. You actually don't even hit the ground. You zip line with these
Woo!
across the way.
Looks so fun.
How'd you do, Swan?
Okay, so here's the problem. I don't have athletics and I don't have strength. Like I'm a -1 strength and I don't have athletics at all, nothing. And I rolled a 6.
Do you have Jack of all trades?
Oh yeah, I do. I have 1 in Jack.
All right, so, and you have no athletics, so this is going to be...
I have luck.
You could use luck, but let's see what you would roll. It's an average check, so if you rolled a 6, you're taking a -2 for the skill, so that's a 4. And you do a -1 strength, that's a 3.
Oh boy.
So that is actually, that's still a failure. That is not an exceptional failure.
So as we're watching your falls, like, should have made a harness. Should have made a harness.
Like
made her harness.
All right,
She's
so
an
Swan,
author, not a...
you try to zip line, you try to like climb the rope, but then you lose your grip and fall into the river about halfway through.
Oh no.
She has like thermoses of turnip soup on her person for the travels, and I think she tried to get across with all those heavy thermoses.
Why was she carrying all that soup? I told her to leave that soup on the ship. I'm watching it
It's good
plop into the water. Why did she put, that's like 8 thermoses of soup. Willadine cannot believe that she grabbed so much soup.
I'm going to jump into the river and try to rescue her.
All right, give me an athletics check to swim to her, and then I'll need a separate one to lifeguard her.
Arthur starts, and then Pug goes, is like, yeah, it's better he goes, yeah. Just
10. I got a 10.
Okay, you're able to get to her with ease, and then let's roll again for your lifeguard swimming.
I think this should be strength.
Okay.
Oh.
7? No.
All right, that's
8.
8. 8. Okay, great. You're fine.
Okay.
All right. So
really?
Yeah. So Pug jumps in and swims you the rest of the way across.
I got you.
Thank you. Oh, I didn't know you were so buoyant.
Oh, yeah. It's the shell.
She was like sitting on your back like this and floating across.
Yeah, I was riding across like, yeah.
It's the
Relax.
shell.
We'll be there soon. Just chill out up there. Get some sun.
She's wringing out her clothes.
Arthur, give me an athletics roll to zip line. Or did you do that already?
Oh, I got a 9.
Oh, great. You're good. Okay, Avir will roll.
Fail it.
Fall.
He does fail it, actually.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Do you say he falls?
I'm going to jump. Yeah, because if he dies...
Yeah, if he dies.
If he dies, the thing blows up. So, yeah, I'm going to jump in again.
So we think.
However, he's able to swim. He actually has pretty good athletics deck. So if you get to him and he's like, I'm fine.
Okay.
He swims the rest of the way. And let's roll for Bert. And Bert makes it. You can tell Avir is pissed that he fell into the water too.
It's like a cat when they embarrass themselves. Like, so mad.
Just licking his legs.
And he's a psychic cat, so he hears us all laughing at him in our heads.
Here's all the things you're not saying.
And after I looked so cool on that zip line, and he just beefed it. He beefed it so bad.
That guy looks so stupid when he did that.
You get the
Shouldn't say anything.
and stuff.
He looks, that's what he looked like. I looked cool, and he looked like an idiot.
You look like Demi Moore with the shaved head,
He's wearing his stupid armor, and he falls in the water.
Yeah, he was wearing his armor. Yeah, it's very light, but it is still armor. All right, but because of the time it took Pug to swim across, plus of all the people falling in, and it's now it's the end. It's night is about to fall. So you make camp. Let me get a luck roll from all of you.
Hey boy.
We got leeches in there, didn't we?
Oh no!
Oh
so
wow!
You're looking for an 8 plus.
I got a 9.
So it's just a straight luck roll.
9.
I got it.
I would have made it, but I used luck earlier.
Oh no!
Okay.
7.
All right. You make camp in the forest, but then the sky opens up in the middle of the night.
Fuck.
And the lightning doesn't really bother you. It seems like the center of the storm is elsewhere. But nobody gets a good night of sleep. So you're all going to take a dice modifier -1 on all your checks for today.
Oh no! What a horrible night. Does anyone know, because you're not supposed to be under a tree like in a lightning storm, but what if you're in a forest? What are you supposed to do?
Cover.
Get out of the forest.
You don't want to be
then you don't want to be on the open ground, because then you're the tallest thing around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say just lay it
don't be under the tallest tree.
Flat as you can.
Find a medium height tree.
I mean, lightning's going to find the highest
Bury
point
yourself
first.
in dirt.
Arthur will at some point casually mention, it's like, so the trick is, think about the most disgusting, horrible things you can think of all the time. Because when he peeks in...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, Willadine...
Think of the worst diarrhea you've ever had. Just think of it. Just relive that in your mind, and he'll stop visiting.
Stop visiting. Do you tell us? Do you actually tell us that?
Yeah, it's how we made it through the academy.
That's really funny.
Makes note for eventual
This is all
story
stuff
about
for the play. This is stuff for
high school.
Matthew's play. This is great.
Oh my God. Willadine thinks of these books on holotape that she used to have that she misses dearly and she wished she had brought to the rust bucket. And they're it's basically like sci-fi adventures. Like it's a captain, it's a saga. There's like 6 books, and it's a captain who gets lost in like a wormhole, only to discover like this long lost place, and it's almost like a Western sci-fi, and she's obsessed with it, but she doesn't read well, so she had it on holotape and she would listen to it. So she's imagining what the 7th book would be if she were to be writing it right now in her mind. So her mind is just like, Captain, we shouldn't go that way. What if we get lost in another wormhole? It's really bad. Like she's not a good writer.
Shitty
soapy?
book.
Is it soapy?
It's really shitty. And then the captain's like,
Awful fan fiction.
yes,
Yeah,
the captain is like, turns out that was my twin brother the whole time. And it's bad. It's like a soap opera. So that is running through her head, and she gets no sleep at all because she's like, that's a great idea. What if it was his brother? Oh my God. And she's obsessed.
Horrible earworm songs.
See that was what I was gonna do. I'm gonna do the ghost thing, where just the whole night I'm just, as long as I'm awake, I'm doing the old Terran song. It says, I'm Henry the Eighth, I am Henry the Eighth, I am. I got married to the widow next door. I just do it over and over and over again.
Amazing.
It's like a ghost.
Amazing.
All right. Well, what those anti-psionic tactics in place.
I love it.
Bad fiction, diarrhea, and ancient Terran harmony.
Little psychic
ancient Terran
security
melodies.
system. It's
You set out again, make your way through the forest. Everybody, about halfway through the day, everyone give me a recon roll.
Ooh, I like doing these.
Econ.
12 for Pug.
Okay.
9 for Swan.
9.
8.
8.
What would we add to recon?
You tell me.
Could I add my dex?
Survival, maybe. No.
Probably would be a mental characteristic.
Yeah, okay. Then it's just an 8. It's fine. I thought maybe she would just have really fast reactions. Like she's like, she hears a twig snap and she's like looking around, and it's fine.
I guess
If it's using sound or smell, I got a 12.
Okay.
Ooh, cool.
All right. So Arthur and... Actually, no, not Arthur, because it's not sound or smell. So Pug, as you're walking along, you start to notice, though they're surprisingly difficult to spot, pieces of what look like metal kind of buried in the ground. And then as you make your way forward, you even see some like kind of tangled in the moss and ivy, even like kind of roots from some of the trees are kind of snarled around them.
Wait.
Like they've grown
So this has been here for a
around
while.
Been here for a while.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's like, hold up a second here. And I'm going to go take a closer look. What the hell this is.
You can give me an education or intellect check.
4.
I mean, it's metal. You could show them somebody. You could point them out to somebody else.
Hey, anyone know what the hell this is? This shouldn't be here, right?
Yeah, I'd like to look at that and see if we can figure out like how fast do these trees grow? Yeah, like yeah, it's sort of like how long has this been here?
Oh, yeah.
Is this starship? Is this like yeah? So I'd like to.
Yeah, give me a... What do you want to roll? Intellect, education, science?
Man, none of my sciences would work here, so I'll just do an education.
Good.
8.
I mean, they look like debris from a starship, but it's quite old.
But it's been here for... See, this is what I'm thinking. It's like the island in Lost.
Yep.
Where it
People keep
attracts...
coming to it.
Yeah. Like we were saying, like a Bermuda Triangle or something.
Could I roll like I want to know if it's like marine. I want to know if I recognize like the pieces at all. What would I roll for that? Could I roll tactics, naval, or could I roll?
I'll let you roll naval tactics. Yeah, if you want to see if it's like part of if you recognize them as part of a Navy ship or something.
Okay. I also have my pilot spacecraft. If I would like, my knowledge of spacecrafts, but okay.
I'll do naval tactics.
Okay. 8, 9. Do I get a little bit more?
They don't seem... They don't... I'll say it's like, they've been here for a long while. They've been corroded, but they don't seem to have the kind of standard, gunmetal gray paint job that a Navy ship would have.
Okay.
Isn't Swan, aren't you a planetologist or something?
Yeah, I mean,
You're
I'm
just like some
xenobiology.
Xenobiology.
Are you a genius?
Aren't you
I am a genius, actually. I'm quite smart, yes. I mean, I don't know if that's a spec on the paper.
You're like, I'm a genius. I'm quite smart. Wait, do I have to roll for that?
Yeah. I mean, I've survival. I'm looking at I have spacecraft 1.
If you want to roll survival to see, understand how, maybe get a general estimate of how long it's been here, maybe to get it's been.
Oh yeah, because that'll tell us whether or not this is part of the ship or it's something else. Got it. Yeah. The heck, 8, 9. Wait, with an imagination. Okay, 11.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
yes.
Awesome.
I mean, it's not like you're doing any kind of testing, but you would guess from the way these things have been snarled into roots, and as you go on, actually, now that you know what you're looking for, you see them kind of embedded in tree trunks, and it's debris. It looks like debris, and you would guess, at least 50 years.
Wow.
Whoa.
Well, we know where the canyons probably came from.
Yeah. Can we do a quick check of the area just to see if there's anything notable salvage besides just scraps?
Perfectly working power plant, so we could be like, we don't need you, stupid Zodani.
That'd be great.
That would solve all our problems.
Completely in package.
Yeah.
Give me a recon check.
All right. Ooh, 12.
Okay. Well, let's say you don't it's just right now. It's just kind of shards of hull is what you're seeing. But if you can, they're kind of leading you in a direction. You start to notice a pattern with a 12.
All right, this is I think there's a debris trail. I think we go this way, and I'm gonna start walking along.
Oh, yeah.
where
Let's
leads.
follow it.
Okay, yeah. And so as you walk
14.
along, oh wow, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
It's as if the trail lit up, as if it were a yellow brick road leading you to the source of this debris. And it's almost like the forest kind of has grown around and through, and it's definitely been there for at least 50 years, as Swan pointed out. And you follow the trail. It's going to take you a little bit off course from the Giordani ship, and Avir is like, where are we going? What is this? Why are we going this way?
There's a 30% chance we're going to find an old shipwreck with Orson Welles with a big beard. Living here long, 50 years. So,
Man, I'd love to find Orson Welles.
That would be quite a twist in his story. Well, you kind of shush Avir, and you do eventually come to the source of the debris, because you come to a clearing, and it once might have been a clearing, or became a clearing, because the ruins of an enormous ship are embedded in the forest floor in front of you.
Whoa.
It was probably what you see anyway. It was a large, chunky, saucer-like vessel.
Oh, aliens!
All right, now that we see it though, do we recognize anything?
Go ahead and roll. You want to roll education. That's probably the easiest thing.
I'll roll education.
But I suck at that.
Oh, well, can I help? I'm sort of standing next to the captain anyway.
Can we all roll?
Yeah, you can each roll. Go ahead.
I got boxcars.
Really?
Oh.
For 13.
Okay.
Whoa.
With that, Pug, you recognize this is you don't know specifically what it is, but you recognize this as an old, some sort of resort ship.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of like a cruise liner, or in fact, like
a cruise line?
Imperial?
Imperial in origin. I mean, not Imperial military, but from Imperium space.
But from Imperial space.
Just like the Fifth Element, man.
Yeah.
The forest has kind
Imperial
of reclaimed some of this wreckage and made it part of itself. Again, trees kind of twist into and through the hull and up to the sky, and moss and lichen are clinging to that, the kind of what's left of what's not broken away from the hull. And the largest section of it is kind of in front of you, and you get maybe it's buried in the ground, and it's basically kind of 3/4 of the circle that is the saucer. And the whole thing is maybe kind of 20 meters tall, multiple decks, and there is an opening. It's been cracked open, and you could get on board if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is an old luxury liner. Yeah, I'm going to go over there and try to get in.
All right.
Yeah, so Arthur is probably just like, some alien vessel no one's ever seen before. There's a luxury liner.
It's Carnival Cruise. What are you talking
Are
about?
you sure about
Cruise
that?
I got a 4. So I'm like, we have discovered something never before seen.
Oh, there's a water slide right there. Look.
All right, do you all want to step on board?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you
Oh, God, they've got a working bar, hopefully.
Oh, man, if there's liquor on here, that'd be so
wow.
cool.
So you step on board, and you're going to be walking kind of sideways here because the ship went in into the ground, and it's still kind of at a 25, 30 degree angle, which is perfectly walkable. You're just going to be somewhat off kilter as you're walking along. Not mechanically off kilter for our Starfinder players, but so you're following the corridor, which kind of curves around the shape of the ship's hull, and you would guess that it's probably laid out in a concentric ring structure, working around something at the center.
Okay.
Yeah, keep
Making
working.
noises.
Is this based on... I remember there is at least one ship, remembering back to the old like High Guard, that does have like a front piloting section like shaped like a saucer.
Yeah, there's one.
that's-
The subsidized subsidized liner has like a big disc and then like a big body attached to it.
Yeah,
I think that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
it is. We'll pull up the art, but there it is. Is that the one you're thinking
Oh,
of?
whoa.
It's not that.
Oh, it's huge.
Wait. Shoot.
So I want to see if I can see any sign that there is I'm looking for a single LED that's got power. Like a single anything
Running lights.
that's just any subtle clue. There's so much as a AA battery with a power working on this thing.
What do you want to roll? You want to roll recon? You want to try to tap in? There's plenty of blank, dark screens around. So these walls are once probably gleaming, polished white, right? Think the Enterprise and Strange New Worlds, just immaculate. But now it's all
If it's been
dingy and deteriorated.
here for 50 years, probably the only thing would be on would be any emergency backup. The reactors would probably go down to minimum. But it's so that's kind of all I'm looking for.
Give me a recon check, unless you want to kind of try to tap into a terminal or something.
Okay, wait, recon, I get a +3, 8.
Nothing really. I mean, also, I'll give you this. Avir gets using his personal computer, gets a faint, very, very faint power signature, but nothing that would power anything more than, the emergency running lights, and even they're off.
Okay.
Let's keep working our way inward. I
Yeah.
want to do that.
I also picture that hotel carpet, the weird pattern carpet that hides staids, all sideways or tipped up. This is confusing.
Yeah. I'm going to throw up by walking through this because it's an optical illusion.
Does anyone have electronics?
I thought you did, Swan. Did you have
I
electronics?
do. I've computers.
Give me an electronics computers check, because basically the walls are screens, they're now most of them are cracked or off, but you could check to see if you recognize the tech.
Elcars.
Swan runs right over to them.
It's you recognize it as an LCAR system.
12 for once.
Okay,
Nice.
you recognize this tech, but it's old. It's 120 years old.
Why is it so decrepit? It's 120 years old.
Wow.
So you keep walking forward, you keep winding around.
Yeah.
This makes no sense.
So eventually you're winding around, and you eventually hit a corridor that will take you into the inner rings. So you go down there. What once was a doorway looks like it's been smashed open, either by the crash or something someone trying to get through, or something trying to get through. So the door itself lies crumpled and cracked along the ring somewhere. But there's a doorway.
Cave troll. Drums.
Drums in the deep.
And so you walk through this more interior circle, and it's another hallway. Same thing, screens on the walls. You might imagine that, if this was a luxury liner, it probably would have screens of beautiful videos or ship's events or something probably were on there. It's just pretty
like
standard.
big palm trees.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
And then you come to another door that's been smashed open, and it's kind of like been bent out into shards and smashed through. And you step through that doorway and into a large open area that looks like it takes up the bulk of the center of the saucer. Whereas the rigs you were walking around were kind of one of 5 decks, this runs the whole height of the ship. And this area, nature has fully claimed. Trees and grasses and other flora and fauna having grown up into it, and all through all these hull breaches that that was once kind of a gash that was cut into the bottom of the ship. Roll recon.
Ten.
9.
10.
9.
All right, those of you who got the 10, you see kind of it's been grown over and plant life makes this kind of hard to make out. But you see what looks like enclosures, what would have been enclosures maybe, or paddocks. What would have long ago been destroyed, but long since been destroyed. But you can see, and they on one of them, if you were to go down into take the ramp down into the area, you would see what looks like a little bit of like a console on a stand in front of it.
So the paddocks as part of the original design, or something that was added,
Looks like it was part of the original design that has since been overgrown and.
Wow. All right. Yeah, I would definitely go down and try to get a closer look at those in the console.
All right. So the console is off, but it doesn't look damaged. So with a check, you might be able to kind of divert personal power, enough to get a little bit of a charge on this with an electronics check, electronics computers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Swan.
Yes. I think he found the Lido deck.
The Lido deck.
The Lido deck.
13.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
So you're able to kind of you pull Avir over and you plug his armor into the tablet, and it gives it a little bit of a charge, enough to run it so long as it's plugged in because the battery is long dead. And up pops a bright, gaudily colored touchscreen display offering fun factoids on what is a large spider-like creature known as a curvin. And you can it's interactive, and you can tap and learn facts about, it can grow to be as big as this, or it can looks
What in the world?
it's very colorful and very clearly you get a sense it's designed for children.
Oh, but it's written in Imperial. It's not like we're on a spider's cruise ship, right?
No.
Okay. That made it a whole lot more horrifying all of a sudden.
This must be the kind of creatures that were driving the ship. Willadine has no idea. I rolled a 6. It's crazy. They have so many legs that you would think that the hulls would need to be larger.
Yeah, is this like a zoo? Flying zoo.
Is it like a
something?
zoo? She looks at Swan. Why are you looking at me?
Me?
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe there's fossils on this.
Is it talking about the spider like the spider you're looking at right now?
Do I know what
pen
kind of
in
spider
front
I'm
of you?
looking at?
This it would have been this. What was an enclosure probably was the Curvin, house.
Oh, it is like a zoo.
It's a zoo. Yeah, you would guess it was. This is.
So it actually is. So Willadine in her stupidness agreed with Pug, but it is true.
Yeah, no.
You would guess this is a zoo ship.
Okay, but also, if it is a zoo, maybe this is how the planet got cayenne on it, got all these different animals.
Planet monsters.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
They
Death
must have
vultures.
escaped this ship and then, multiplied and survived on their own.
Giant
It was like
spiders.
a Noah's Ark of
Swan, see if you can see if the ship had cayenne. See if you can see if it had other types of animals on it.
Okay. Nice. See if there's a bit.
Let's say you have to hack the tablet, but you could pull up all the displays that would have gone to all the other tablets around the whole this huge area. There were other species on there. Let's see. You find displays on Valrox. a kind of armored rhinoceros-like creature, but with feathers around its head, called a Trixilm.
Oh my god.
Cayenne, Nelorotten. What you players, not necessarily your characters, would recognize as like evolved big cats and evolved elephants.
Huh.
Yeah, they had all kinds of alien zoology.
Oh my
And mosquitoes for some
like
reason.
my
Why did they import
favorite.
mosquitoes?
Yeah, don't leave them there.
And ticks.
This is like a wonderland as a toy store for Swan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as a xenobiologist, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But what I want to find out, if I can, is I want to find out where this cruise ship from the Imperial was actually going. Like, where were they intended to go before they landed here?
Where it came from.
You look up towards this, like you see that all of the walls have the ones that haven't been taken over by vines and ivy. They all have windows facing into this large central area. Like, and maybe you would guess that this would, these were the staterooms. So that you would book a room, and your hotel room would overlook the enclosure.
It's like Animal Kingdom
It's like Animal Kingdom.
Oh my god.
in space.
And there are also these little perches throughout at various levels, so you can kind of they're observation hatches that lead into enclosure areas, and access for vets and trainers and feeders, maybe. And then if you look straight up, kind of like imagine this is an arena where the jumbotron would be. There is like a large structure descending from the top that also has windows that look out onto the area. You might, and with a logic, would maybe suggest that this is some sort of control room, or so you could try to get up to that and maybe access the ship's computers, and you could try to find out.
Yeah.
Let's get up to the Panopticon.
Like, it is kind of like a panopticon.
Yeah. And at this point, Swan has taken out her what's it called? A thermoscope. Did they take it away from us? Do I still have my thermoscope so I can see if there's biomatter anywhere about to happen upon a family of, I don't know, space possums that made this ship call their home?
That would definitely be good to know. That's
living here.
Give me a recon. How does it give you a bonus to your? It's like a 60-foot range, right?
Yeah.
As I recall.
Oops. Oh, that's nice. 11, 12. Look at this beautifulness.
How does the thermoscope work? Do you get does this give you a bonus to a recon check? Alicia?
That was a 12.
No, how does the thermoscope work?
How does what?
The thermoscope? How does it work?
Oh, okay. Let's see. It's called a thermoscope. But it's the reason why I asked if they took it is because it's fitted on my gun, but it can come off as well.
Yeah, you can
Let
have
me
it.
see.
I think
Let's
you still have it.
see what it does. This is why I have my field guide ready.
Excellent.
Mongoose. This game's 46. Hold on. Okay. It can detect heat in complete darkness, and it can pick out well-camouflaged targets. It can locate the source.
It picks up like life forms?
Yeah, that's what it's like thermo.
Heat. That's cool.
What's the range on it?
Well, it's a scope. It's probably very long.
Yeah, it's... Ooh, wait. DM4 a DM4 to recon checks to spot concealed targets.
So yeah, just give me what would you roll on your recon?
I was 12. Yay.
Okay, so you actually get a 16.
That's great.
So you stand in the center of the kind of enclosure area, and you scan around with the scope. You do not see any major creatures in here. You see rodents, like small rodents, some snakes, nothing alarming. Like basically like equivalent of space voles, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Space voles.
Space voles.
Voles in space.
But nothing alarming. It looks like, the big stuff in here clearly, as what you would have gathered from finding the Cayenne and the Valrox, like they've, over the decades, they have made their way out into the open.
All right, it looks like we're alone. So let's make our way up. I want to go upstairs to where that computer equipment is.
Okay. Yeah, how do we get up there?
Well, you can go back out into the ring structure and kind of find the emergency stairwells, or you could try to climb. Up to you.
I'll try to climb.
Okay.
Up there.
See, that was not what I was going to do, but okay.
You guys can do whatever you want. I'm going to start climbing.
Look, Arthur is so relieved, which is like, no giant spiders are above us. Like,
Right.
good.
All right, Pug, give me a climb check.
All right. That's a 9.
All right, well, I'll say you're able to easily climb up the ivied walls, but then you're like, oh shit, like to get across to the central area, you're like, I can't do it, and you have to go back down.
Okay.
Jump it like Tom Cruise, man. Just,
It was a very difficult check. If you'd gotten the 12, you could have like monkey barred your way
As a
out
12.
across.
Oh, okay. It's just like, no, can't do it. And I just sort of slide back down.
I like the idea of the epic music plays. You see him hand over handing, and like looks over like, nah. It just comes right back down.
No.
Pug, we can just walk around. We can just walk.
I figured
It looked really
Stairs?
cool.
They look cool.
It looked awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Was the view nice up there?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
All right. You find the emergency stairs. You're able to get up to the top deck.
Oh,
and then, you like their doors have all been long ago smashed off. They're smashed open or removed or cracked.
Feather rhinos probably knocked him open to get off this thing.
Yeah. Well, that's the interesting thing is that all these species survive, but no sophons. Like we haven't run in that we've seen. Like no other like sentient. Whoever was crewing this ship doesn't appear to have survived.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Space Tiger was like, man, what around here has no claws or natural armor or can't run that fast? It has terrible night vision.
Right. Well, that's what I was thinking. Is like when it did crash, all these creatures were freed, and like the people who were crewing the ship would have been completely screwed.
Yeah, I mean, they either
even if they did survive the crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a strong feeling that they maybe survived the crash and didn't even get to explore the planet.
Yeah, exactly.
The cabin in the woods when all the doors open and they just
yeah, exactly.
Oh my god! All of a sudden, these cages open with things with 4 heads and 15 arms and
everywhere.
Yeah, nightmare.
Eating little tourist children. Yes.
Eating a kindergarten class who is screaming.
Unless they are here, we haven't seen them. They could be here somewhere.
Are there stranded kindergartners here? I mean, I know it's been 50 years, but I'm sure there's still
It's been
kindergartners.
150 years.
Oh, 150.
You get up to the top deck and you make your way towards the access hallway to get to the control center, and the door is, again, smashed off its hinges. Or it doesn't even have hinges. They're pocket doors, but they've been smashed out of their pockets.
Hinges in space.
Hinges. Yeah, who has hinges in space?
I turned the doorknob.
Doors got pockets before women clothing. That's all I heard.
I was just having a conversation about this, about how the institutional sexism in fashion and the removal of pockets. It was very interesting. So, somebody who understood was telling me. Anyway, you get in here. The place has been destroyed. Screens are cracked. It looks kind of like you all understand the reference, but kind of like a 360-degree operating theater, except the lecture hall rows are facing outwards. On each one kind of has a computer terminal, so it was like a cone structure, and they all could look down onto their area of the floor below. Right. But you also see this was clearly the ship's bridge. In addition to being the control center for the zoo, this was also where they
This
piloted.
is such an interesting design for a ship. This is really cool.
So most of the panels and terminals seem smashed, but give me a recon check to see if you can find one that looks like it's salvageable.
13.
Okay, Pug, you're like, over here.
Oh, all right.
So you find one in an upper row, and Swan, give me another electronics computers check to see if you can do the same thing. Divert some power into it to get enough juice to read.
10.
Oh, that is enough. Okay. So
Awesome.
you access the ship's log, and this ship was known as the Safari of the Stars. It was a luxury liner. Basically, you would book passage both to see the animals and also get from place to place. So like during your time in Jump, you could go out and spend a week, enjoying the zoo.
This is literally a
attractions.
cruise. This is like
It's a
a
cruise.
future cruise. Huh.
Carnival cruise ship.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But the most recent log entry is dated 117 years ago.
Oh man.
The most recent one?
Yes.
Wow. What does it say?
Oh God.
And all of the log entries say everything was normal. They were in the, they were in a jump. Systems were operating, were functioning properly. They didn't have this was not a crew. They were not in a, this wasn't a passenger voyage though. So they were on what they refer to as a recovery run, which is to say they would jump to some distant system and rescue, air quotes, some animals for the zoo. So they did this with the skeleton crew. And then they were going to make their way back to, they dropped off a complement of passengers on New Colchis, which is in the islands. And then they were heading out to somewhere in the Rift.
Okay, so at least we're in the Rift. It's like, those next questions like, where were they?
Yeah. Same area though.
Yeah, or at least
The
they
others
were in
like
the Rift.
far away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the last entry is just a normal entry. It wasn't.
Yeah.
All right, so that makes me think that they died before they were able to like say anything about the crash or about survival.
Or they just stopped updating the ship's log because why?
Didn't matter.
Why bother?
Yeah, that's a good point. If this were a video game, though, they would have said, "Cages have been opened. Help! Oh no! Here they come!" And then it
We cannot
crackles
get out.
You wouldn't bother to type out just say
Why would they
I was like,
type out?
is this kid going to go there? Am I going to go there? I don't know what's going to happen.
This is terrible.
that's sort of a
What was that?
sort of back of the throat.
Weird. They're so literal in it. Okay. So Swan, you relay that, and then what more is there to do on this ship?
I mean, does the log say where this big ship from hell was going? It was a Noah's Ark with like, I guess various species on. Where was it going?
It was going to one of the another planet on the islands. In the islands
same area.
crossing.
Okay, so it is the same area. Okay.
It's going to pick up some more.
Right.
More.
It's also we're seeing if there are any parts in the if the engineering deck, if it's at least been kind of closed off from the elements. I mean, it might be
Something
dusty,
salvageable.
Yeah, it's a huge ship. It didn't take that much damage in certain areas, so.
Yeah.
Sure. I will say. Yeah. Great.
Matthew, what?
Nothing.
I feel like
Our
there's something
Zodani is probably
missing
like,
here.
I would like to explore this room more.
I didn't say anything about
I
exploding.
agree.
Maybe Bert will come up and he will say, "Believe it or not, one of you had an excellent idea earlier to analyzing the jump data of our ships to see if
Hey, it was my idea. I came up with that idea.
That was
perhaps we should do that now."
I was going to say we should do that now.
I think Swan was actually about Bert. That is a great idea, unoriginal. I think Swan was about to do that.
Yeah,
right,
Swan was really it was on the tip.
Swan was like in the middle of doing that. I'm pretty sure Arthur
Yeah, I
was
was
just
right in the middle
saying.
of doing it.
Arthur was
Yeah,
just
sometimes-
saying that.
She takes a little delay sometimes for people to jump in. That's just Swan's way.
Yeah, that's just Swan's way.
We're working on
Ross
it.
Bryant would have loved that joke.
I loved it, but I'm still going to boo you.
You booed it.
Okay, that's fine.
Is that how you show love, Matthew?
For Proust?
Yeah, we got.
Okay.
That's the first ever Proust joke on the network. Give me a break.
Wow.
I think it probably is. Actually, I don't know. Ross probably made a Proust joke.
Actually, probably Ross.
He
would have
probably
made one
hasn't. It probably
before.
went over my head. I didn't even notice.
I don't know. I can't remember. It's into my remembrances. Things past.
Okay, all right.
All right. I was shoehorned.
Do the check.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna need an electronics computer check to kind of like hack your way into the engine data, and then task chain that with an astrogation check
Oh.
okay.
to understand the data.
Okay. I don't have astrogation, but I do have computers.
I have astrogation.
Great.
Okay.
So Swan, you give me the computers, and then I will give you the bonus or penalty to Arthur.
All right. I'm gonna use my big. That was smart. 11.
Nice.
Okay, you get in, and then Arthur, give me an astrogation check to see if you can understand this data.
Can I aid him? Because I have astrogation too.
Intellect or education?
Either. Education feels more right.
I had 3 things.
What's my bonus?
+2?
From the test, Jay? +2?
+2, yeah.
Oh, shit. 14.
Oh.
Nice.
Crushed it.
Oh, baby.
You look at this data, and it's as clear as the nose on Avir's face. I don't know why you're looking at his nose, but it's very clear. This ship also seems to have misjumped.
It's punchable, is why I keep looking at it.
I can't wait to punch that guy's nose.
Wait, is there any information though as to like the cause of the misjump?
Also, I'd like to see if there were any like readings before any of this happened. Like, say, well, everything was going fine. Then right before we crashed here, the G wave spiked or something.
Yeah, there was a gamma radiation spike right before.
Yeah.
Okay, give me another astrogation check.
Yeah. The more information we found out.
Take it I don't get that +2 anymore?
Yeah.
You take the +2.
I don't need it. Oh, okay, then I'll take it. 15.
Oh my God.
Baby.
Blow it out the water.
Smart guy.
Jordy
Smart
LaForge
vulgar.
over here.
I'm going to give you my narrative version of what you're reading in the math, basically. So everything, the jump seemed fine. Like it got you got off. They created the pocket universe in jump space. Everything was good, but there was the readings from within jump space almost seemed deeper in a way. Like there was a sort of depth into the area of jump space they were in. Yeah. Depth. As if you had access, penetrated further, the ship had penetrated further into this kind of in-between space between,
Are we,
between the...
Like deeper into the pocket dimension?
Are we in a fucking pocket dimension?
I don't...
Well, I mean, when you jump, you enter one.
But are we in... Yeah. Are we stuck in one?
Oh, no.
Like a big jump bubble?
Well, like a planet?
System in it?
Well, no,
you could see stars.
You would probably rule that out because A, you can see stars,
Okay.
and B, people have been able to enter.
Okay.
Other people have landed on the planet, including you. So
deeper than a pocket dimension.
it's like deeper within the pocket dimension. It's
like a wormhole into a deeper.
I mean, it doesn't really make sense to you. Like it doesn't. Like that's not how you understand jump space.
No.
It's like weird math.
It's weird math. It doesn't seem logical. It doesn't seem to follow basic principles of logic.
Cool.
Does anyone have? I wish there were like spacefarer lore or like spacer lore.
Well, I have seafarer.
I know you.
Probably like just education.
I have seafarer, and I also was in the Navy, which are two different things.
Oh, actually,
I would say naval guys. They know all sorts of lore.
Yeah. And maybe like my profession salvager. Maybe that would.
Okay,
and
give me profession.
Remember the horror story I told? Because my grandfather was like also an explorer, and like he used to tell me all this, these scary stories, and they were sort of like space folklore, I would say.
Okay, yeah. You want to give me a social check?
Okay. With no plus, nothing. Okay.
I'll let you take
the bonus from your social standing.
9.
I got an 8.
Yeah, it doesn't make any. You don't know anything.
Can I add my seafarer or maybe my streetwise or survival? Or...
And there was one time we were out on the waves of the old Atlantic.
Can I add my jack of all trades and make it a 10?
A large fish came upon us.
And it told me a story.
Wait, Matthew, before I use a luck and make it a 10, would that get me anything?
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
Rude.
I'm going to use
save your receipt. Save your receipt.
Yeah, I saved my receipt.
Spend it now and
So I'm
return
like,
it.
hello, I'd like 1 luck. That's a 10. And I hand that to you.
All right. With a 10, you don't remember it quite. You don't really remember the story. But you do remember. You remember there was talk of, there was like an old legend.
What legend did the fish tell us?
It's funny.
What is happening here?
So Willadine, you remember an old story. You don't remember. Maybe it was when your grandfather. Maybe it was
My grandpappy.
or maybe you heard it in the Navy. But there was a ship called the Fisher. Fischer. And the Fisher. It's like you don't even know if it's real. It might just be one of those old spacefarers tales. According to the tale, the Fisher disappeared. It just disappeared. No one knew what happened. It was assumed that it was misjumped. But then 6 years later, the wreck of the ship was discovered on a moon in the Corridor sector. And how it got there, no one knew. The logs were corrupted. But there were survivors that were found parsecs and parsecs away. And they told a tale of their jump drive, quote, running wild. And we'll see you next week.
Okay.
This is just as bad as saying there's an old legend.
Yeah.
Jump drive's gone wild.
Jump drive's gone wild.
Jump
I have
drive's
that on
gone wild.
DVD somewhere.
Yeah, we just have to order the VHS and it'll hold
it's-
all the answers.
You need-
You need Jump Drive's Run Wild 3.
Oh, volume 3. Oh,
Do we
okay.
need to watch
That's
the
out of
first
print.
2 to understand?
I think you'll get it.
Okay.